So we've got a meme quality stock with a low float and a high short interest with a reactionary volatile news environment. So what you're going to get is a lot of volatility.
So we know a lot of stocks tend to react to the news of the day, but DJT really is unique in just how reactionary it can be on a given day. Tell us more about that.
Well, right. The market volatility has a lot to do with the ownership.
Yep.
And in this case, Donald Trump owns most of the company. Like I think at least 50%. Chris said I think maybe close to 60%, but quite a bit amount of the company.
Yeah.
So it's really a low float stock. Only a small amount of the stock has been floated on the market. And when you look at the short interest compared to the number of shares allowed is like 1 or 2%. But the
Right.
short interest compared to the float is like 10 or 12%. So it's also a highly shorted stock. So we've got a meme quality stock with a low float and a high short interest with a reactionary volatile news environment. So what you're going to get is a lot of volatility, up and down movements.
Yep.
So there is a lot of volatility, as we know, kind of with any meme stock, but are we going to be seeing any positive swings for DJT, or is there more just of that back and forth, as you mentioned, depending on the headline of the day?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of back and forth with this stock. I mean, that's kind of where the stock kind of gives itself up as far as who's really trading in it right now. If you were investing in the stock because of Truth Social, there's really no reason to explain a lot of the price movement that's happening with it right now. What's happening with it is clearly happening because of the events of the day. When the ruling in the New York trial came out, stock went down. Since then, it's been ticking back up, and it ticked back up sharply last week after the debate. It's really being driven by what investors perceive about Donald Trump, not necessarily what it perceives about Truth Social.
Yeah, right. It's a very good point. The stock market is not tied to fundamentals. It's tied to a news cycle and an image of Donald Trump. There's a lot of market mechanics involved with it, not so much fundamentals.
Yep.
I wouldn't expect to see too much difference other than volatility within this range until the company starts to exhibit at least revenue growth, if not some better profitability.
So we can maybe agree that there's not any actual business moves here. It's just that kind of reaction to the news.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's too early to tell what Truth Social is going to be. And so again, as an investor, it's hard to get a grip on what the company is.
Right. And they're trying to get involved in, I think, streaming TV content as well.
I agree.
I think there's like 2 different platforms along that way. DJT Plus, I think it was called, something like that. So yeah, there's definitely some questions up in the air. What's going to happen?